I supposed to
Hi
do
there. Welcome to Anchored Ministries Live. I'm your host, Todd O'Neill. And did you know that some cats are allergic to humans? Moving on. Sammy, welcome to the show tonight.
It's great to
We're
be
so
here.
happy to have you here. Stephonn, also. Welcome, Stephonn.
Thanks.
So let's get this show on the road before we get started with our cast here. We're going to play a little game tonight. Stephonn, since you're hosting, why don't you tell us what we're playing today?
We are playing a great game called Bible or Nah.
Oh, I am ready for this.
All right. So this game is pretty simple. We're gonna share a phrase or maybe a Bible verse, and these two have buzzers. And they are going to have to buzz in if they believe they know if it's from the Bible or not from the Bible. And if they get it correct, they get a point. If they don't, then the other person has a chance to steal it and get a point. And whoever has the most points at the end wins.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but Sammy is what we like to call a Bible connoisseur.
He is a Bible connoisseur. He enjoys the taste of Bibles.
The taste of Bibles.
That does not make me an expert at the Bible.
I actually heard when Sammy was first born that when he came out, he had one of those little Gideon Bibles in his hands.
In his
It's
hand
not
when he was
true.
born?
I can verify that is not true.
It was pretty impressive.
The doctor put it there.
And then the doctor framed me. And then his first words were John 3:16.
John 3:16.
Yeah. Not John 3:16. He actually went from goo goo gaga to for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So I'm a little scared tonight. I think Sammy's going to beat me.
All right, so those are the rules. Pretty simple.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah, go for it.
I just wanted to take a quick shout out to Maddie Lovins and the Lovins family who is watching. Maddie, we miss you. Jace, we miss you. All the other Lovinses, we kind of miss you guys too. So there you go. There's that.
I got a shout out.
You got a shout
I'm
out.
going to shout out to Evan Goff.
Evan Goff?
Is he watching?
Yeah, he's watching. He put on
watching,
here.
right?
He
Oh!
says, Sammy! That's what he
Yeah.
says.
Yeah, that
Hi,
I can
Evan.
I
How
can
you
hear it
doing?
in Evan's voice. Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is on here.
Nice. Do we have okay, to everybody who's watching the stream, let's put out there who you think's going to win.
Yeah.
Let's start with that. I want to have a good solid 5 to 10 seconds to let them put down who they think is going to win. That way we know what to expect. Sammy, how do you feel about this challenge?
Very, I guess
Confident?
the word, no, I wouldn't say that.
Overly zealous?
But not nervous either. It's like I'm walking into a speech I haven't prepared for.
Prepare for? I'm in your head, Samuel.
Okay.
I'm in it.
And I'm already tripping over my words, but I know we're going to be fine.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we'll be fine.
I got another
We'll be
shout
fine.
out here, Todd. Americus and Christopher.
Oh, to Americans and Christopher, Sammy's going to do the first shout out with me. Sammy, are you
Okay.
ready to do a shout out together?
I'm ready.
However you need to. Are you ready?
Okay.
Americans and Christopher, shout out!
Bah.
Come on, give some oomph, Sammy. Get some oomph in there.
Is that better?
Man.
I've been hanging out with goats the last few days.
I
That's
can
all
tell.
I've got.
That was your knee-jerk reaction. That was our first goat shout out.
All right,
Any
Todd.
bets yet? on who's
Yeah,
winning?
we've got Evan Goff who says Sammy.
Yep.
And then he put
Okay.
again, Sammy for sure.
Okay.
Sammy for sure.
Yep.
We've got Madison Lovins, which she's talking about the whole clan,
Okay.
the Lovins clan.
Yes.
They say Sammy for sure.
Oh, man, I'm an
goodness.
underdog now.
Pressure's
Okay, I
on.
got one believer. All right.
Yeah, but it's not online. People aren't going to know.
Okay, let's get this show on the road.
Are
Alrighty.
you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay,
Samuel,
I'm ready.
best of luck.
Wife, did you change the order on these or do I need to?
You need to.
Okay, you got this. Nobody look at me because the paper has the answers and I'm sure you can see through it.
May the best dwarf win.
Number
Yes.
uno. Let's go.
Wait! Translation.
I can't give you the
can't
translation
tell
because
the
it might not be the
translation?
Bible.
No.
You
But
can't
all
guess
of these
the
are from the same translation?
We can't even guess that.
Okay, all right.
That's illegal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go hand in hand, not one before another.
Nah.
That is correct.
Bam!
It was from Shakespeare.
Dang
Shakespeare,
it.
yep.
Ugh, not a good start.
Are you guys ready for number two?
Yes.
We loved with a love that was more than love.
Nah.
That is correct.
Yes!
Okay.
That was Edgar Allan Poe.
Whew. That's
Wow.
That was very
I did
very
not,
positive
I did not
for him.
see that coming
right?
from Poe.
Or like that was the last thing he said before he killed somebody in his poem. Who knows? Okay. All right. Feeling good.
Here we go. That is
Double points.
Yes.
Why-
Double points now.
Double points?
Okay, we're into the double point
Yeah,
round.
we're in double point round.
Okay.
There
How
are
many
five-
total questions?
There's only 5 questions.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's going quick,
All right.
guys.
Okay.
We got this. All right, here we go. Number 3. My legs gave way in terror. I will wait quietly for the coming day.
Bible.
He hasn't even finished.
I know, but it's from David, and it's in Psalms.
Okay.
It is from the Bible, but it is not from Psalms.
Lamentations.
No.
Jeremiah?
It's from. Okay, I'm gonna butcher this. You ready for this?
Oh, brother.
Habakkuk.
Habakkuk?
Habakkuk. There you go.
I should have waited till the end of the statement, though. Was that clarified in the rules?
We did not talk about that in the rules.
We did not.
I will wait now.
We will wait.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
That was Habakkuk 3:16.
I feel okay. You know what? I'm gonna call an audible on that one. Say since we did not discuss it, were you gonna ring before me on that one?
I was going to ring as soon as he was done talking. I knew it was in the Bible.
We need a
wasn't sure
judgment
where.
call
Well,
here.
a single point instead of a double point.
Single point instead of a double point.
Is that
Fair?
fair?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Dock me points.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Um,
Sammy's hand is shaking.
all right. He desires that we have life and that we live to our full potential.
That sounds... Oh, crud. Yes, Bible.
Are you saying Bible?
Yes. That's the one I was going to go with originally, but I'm sticking with it, even though I know it could be wrong.
That is wrong.
It is wrong.
Oh!
Yep.
Where was it from?
It's by Candace Bure.
Yep.
Who is that?
Nev-
Cameron Bure
never heard of her.
From Fuller House.
Never heard of her.
DJ said that? Wow.
Are you sure she said that?
She's so thoughtful.
All right.
Does she say that in Fuller House?
Last question.
Last question.
Is this
Whoever
worth?
gets it right is the winner.
No, brother.
Oh,
It's one of
okay.
those
Is it- are
games.
we-
My surprise rule.
Oh,
It's already
okay.
over.
Well, because
Oh my goodness.
it's
It's
what's the
two-
actual
it's
score right now?
2-1.
It's 2-1.
Unless
right?
one of us gets it wrong, then the other person wins.
Well, here's the thing: is
If I
this is
say-
double,
Stop fighting with the ref.
this is double points.
Yeah.
So if Sammy gets it, he
this
wins.
Is 1,000 points. Whoever gets it is the winner.
Wow.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait a
What was the
second.
point
All
of
right.
the first 4
It's-
questions?
Yeah. Let's just do.
It's double points. It's double points because either way, if Sammy gets it, he wins. Because we already said it was.
It's 1 to...
No, because it's 1 to 2.
1 to 2.
I only got
And if
1
it's
point.
worth 2 points, then I would be 3 or he would be 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what makes
All
it
right,
better.
4.
We're on
Double
that shit.
points.
All right, here we go.
Nut
Okay.
job.
We have to pay for water to drink, and even firewood is expensive. Those who pursue us are at our heels. We are exhausted, but are given no rest.
Can I hear it one more time?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to pay for water to drink, and even firewood is expensive. Those who pursue us are at our heels. We are exhausted, but are given no rest.
Can I get the language of origin?
English.
Are there alternate? It was
Wait,
written in
in
English.
Then obviously that's not the Bible.
Yeah. No, he's just. Okay.
No, it's currently written in English.
It's currently written in English.
We typed it.
We typed it.
Oh my goodness. I honestly have no... It sounds
Somebody's
like
gotta make a
something
guess here.
David related.
All
But
right.
go for it. What you got?
Bible.
Do you want to take a guess here, Sammy?
No, give it to him. He answered first. He gets the
Well, he
points.
likes the points. He wants to know if you want to take
I want to know if you want to take a guess before we say it. He'll get the points.
Well, he said Bible. I'm going to say it not Bible, obviously.
It is Bible.
Yep.
It's our
Alrighty.
favorite book, Lamentations.
It
Yes.
was. Oh.
I knew it.
The underdog.
It was Lamentations 5,
Sammy,
4 through 5. if you
Sammy,
guys
fun
want to
fact:
check
my
it.
job was on the line right now. Like, if you would have beat me, they would have fired me. Then and there. They'd have been like, "Youth pastor, my booty." Sammy, thank you for joining us today. You did a
was a
wonderful
pleasure.
job. Everybody, give it
It
up
was
for
a
Sammy,
pleasure.
please. Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm gonna stall a little bit while Stephonn gets up here. We were gonna roll some footage tonight about some stuff we have coming up, but it got a little bit crazy today, so I'm just gonna make a few announcements. The youth center is gonna be hosting a movie night coming up here pretty soon. It's gonna be awesome. We're trying to figure out what movie we're gonna be watching. Keep your eye on Instagram. We might do a little survey on that to figure out what we're gonna watch. And other than that, we're gonna be doing our regular stream on Tuesdays and Sundays. And I think that's about it. So,
I left my water bottle over there. Can you hand it to
yeah, for sure. Stephonn, how you doing, man?
me? I'm good. How you been, man?
How was your week this week?
It was interesting. Some people are not listening to the quarantine anymore, and my work is crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
So everybody's buying Mexican
Everybody's
food.
coming in.
Yeah, dude. Corona can't stop me from getting some good Mexican
Yeah.
food. Because what I want to be doing while I'm staying home on lockdown, having diarrhea.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So your work's super crazy right now?
Yeah, it's been crazy.
My work is not crazy right now.
No.
I've seen 2 teenagers.
How busy is the center, Todd?
It's not busy at all. I am sitting around putting together videos and doing stuff like that. But I gotta say, it is pretty cool seeing the influence of what it does for people. For instance, I was just talking to one of my family members, my sister. My sister Renee watches some of our stuff.
Really?
Well, yeah, which was funny because it's like, which you'd be like, well, why is that weird? 'Cause she's your sister, but she's up in Sacramento. And it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, did you watch this? She's like, yeah, like, I really love it. And it was really cool. It was really uplifting. So it made me feel really good.
Obviously, she watches to see me.
She obviously watches it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's looking for the prettier host.
Yeah.
And that is Stephonn, without a doubt. Yeah, but it's been going good. I think I'm just getting I'm getting a little bit stir crazy with all this just stay at home stuff.
Yeah.
And the end not really being in sight officially. You know, people are making predictions about when we're going to kind of get back to our regular lives again and when we're going to get back to a regular looking world, but they don't have a date and they don't know for sure.
No, I know that they did a release today talking about how they're going to reevaluate in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I was thinking about that today, and I was reading in Genesis, and I was reading the story of Abraham, and I was reading about when Abraham first got the promise from God that he's like, hey, I'm going to get you, this is Todd's weird translation, I'm going to get you a bunch of kids. That's what God said. He said,
yeah.
I'm going to make sure you have a lot of descendants, right?
A lot.
A lot. Matter of fact, I think, if I remember correctly, let me pull it up in my Bible here, we're in Genesis chapter 15 in the New Living Translation. So I'll read it out loud here. Starting in verse 1. That's Genesis 15, starting in verse 1. That's a youth pastor coming out at me. At my actual youth group, you need to say that roughly 20 to 25 times.
What verse are you starting at?
Yeah. Where are we? Which Bible? Sometime later, the Lord spoke to Abram, this is before Abraham was Abraham, in a vision and said to him, do not be afraid, Abram, for I will protect you, and your reward will be great. But Abram replied, O sovereign Lord, what good are all your blessings when I don't even have a son? Since you've given me no children, Eleazar of Damascus, a servant in my household, will inherit all my wealth. Good for Eleazar.
Right.
You've given me no descendants of my own, so one of my servants will be my heir. Then the Lord said to him, no, your servant will not be your heir, for you will have a son of your own who will be your heir. Then the Lord took Abram outside and said to him, look up into the sky and count the stars if you can. That's how many descendants you will have. And Abram believed the Lord, and the Lord counted him as righteous because of his faith.
Okay, I just want to talk about the fact that, like, when I read this, I feel like it's like a parent talking to a child type thing.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, well, I don't have any kids,
Yeah.
so whatever. And God's like, excuse me?
Yeah, don't worry. I'm going to keep a roof over your head. I'm going to keep you fed. And it's like, yeah, but where's my kids?
Where's my kids?
It is important to put some context on, like, children back in the day were everything to you.
Yep.
They were your lineage, they were your honor, they were your pride and joy. Very different from now. They're the bane of some people's existence. But
Not
back in the
ours.
day, no, not ours. Our kids are
They're amazing, right?
Yeah.
No, Corona.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Okay. So anyways, yes, our kids are amazing.
Yeah.
But it is funny to think, like, back in the day, that was everything for people. It was having a kid, having a family line, having a bloodline. And if you didn't have that, it's like people felt like they were robbed of everything.
Yeah, well, and other people look down upon you as well
Yeah.
in those times if you didn't have someone to, spread your lineage.
Yeah,
So,
if you didn't have somebody to kind of carry it on after
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and I think it's interesting but it is funny how that is Abram's hang up right there. Like, he's like, it's cool that you're going to protect me, but so what?
yeah, I need something better than you protecting me.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's a selfish request, but at the same time, it's one of those things where he wasn't happy enough with just life, and he wasn't happy enough with protection.
Yeah.
He needed something else more. And as God usually does, he's ready to go that next step with us. I love how it said how he took him outside.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like, he's like, hey, dude,
Yeah.
let's go outside.
Come with me. Was it like a come with me, son, let's go outside? Or was it like you grabbed his ear and he like dragged him out? He's like, you come outside. You look at those stars. You look how many stars are up there. And God's like, oh, it's cloudy. Hold on. Okay, what do the stars look like now?
Count them right now. Go ahead, count them. See if you can count those.
Yeah.
I put them up there.
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that he says that. Look up into the sky, and that's what he says. You can almost read it with like some attitude. He's like, look up into the sky and count the stars if you can. That's how many descendants you will have. And Abraham's like, 1, 2. He's like, shut up until you actually count.
It was figuratively.
It was figurative. Abram, just go back to your tent. Go and listen to your music. Go sit on TikTok. So
Yes, Dad.
yeah. So I think it's interesting to bring that up. Now here's the interesting thing about it, because we were talking about how, he got this promise, and we're talking about trying to get to the end of this thing.
Yeah.
This whole shutdown and lockdown and COVID and all that stuff. I was talking with some students today. They were hanging out with me down here, and just 1 or 2, not like more than 10. Don't come arrest me. We were 6 feet apart.
I wasn't here, so you can't.
And we
can't
were
put this
all
on
wearing
me.
hazmat suits, just to be extra careful.
Yeah.
But they were down here, and they're like, dude, I'm going stir crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get out and do something. And I think, man, like, God has promised that, first off, we're going to get through the tough times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know how getting from receiving that promise from God, or knowing what God is going to do for you, that he's going to protect you, that he's going to get you through it, but living in the time right now of not knowing what the next thing is going to.
Yeah, being able to just accept where you're at.
Yeah.
And know that it's okay to be in a rough spot.
Yeah, absolutely. But as we can see, Abraham was not okay with where he was.
No, he wasn't.
I want to read the story of the birth of Ishmael, because Abram had a wife, Sarah, and Sarah was a little impatient.
Just a little bit.
Just a little. So we're going to go to the next chapter, chapter 16, verse 1. That's chapter 16, verse 1. The Holy Bible, the book of Genesis, chapter 16, verse 1.
What verse are you starting at, Todd?
Now Sarah, Abram's wife, had not been able to bear children for him, but she had an Egyptian servant named Hagar. So Sarah said to Abram, the Lord has prevented me from having children. Go and sleep with my servant. Perhaps I can have children through her. And Abram agreed with Sarah's proposal. Now, real quick, let's talk about, it's just a weird story, okay? Let's just get it all out there, Stephon. Yeah. Is this weird?
Yeah, it's extremely weird.
Okay, why don't you talk about it, because I don't want to.
Well, it's the fact that, like, I don't know, I can't get the words out of my mouth. How do I explain it?
Just tongue-tied a little bit?
I'm a little tongue-tied.
Is this story making you uncomfortable?
It's not uncomfortable. It's like, how do you explain it?
Are here.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's the idea that, like, for me, Sarah was so impatient.
Yep.
You know? I think it's...
In her wording, too. Sorry, she said, the Lord has prevented me from having kids.
Yeah. Well, and I think she doesn't understand that I really believe that God was testing her as well as testing Abram at that time, or Abraham.
Abram. No, you're
well,
good.
it's Abram at that time.
You're on it, yeah. He will be Abraham.
Yeah, he will be Abraham.
He had 2 names, like Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
And his real name, which is incredibly white. I could not get... Can I get Vanilla Ice's real name?
Can somebody Google that for us while we talk?
We're working on this.
For me, it's the fact that, like, she just didn't have the faith in Christ, in God, to know that he was going to give her a child in his timing.
He was going to deliver.
Yeah, he would deliver. And instead she thought, well, I'm going to just... Oh, hold on, we got
a name. Vanilla Ice, also known as his real name? Robert Matthew Van Winkle.
All right.
Now you know why he went by Vanilla Ice.
And I thought Vanilla Ice was bad.
Because saying Robert Van Winkle, baby, does not sound good on a song. So what are you going to do? Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. So Sarah, she couldn't just take that leap of faith knowing that God was going to provide.
Well, and it's almost like a being suspended in faith. It's like jumping out of the airplane and knowing when that parachute is going to come out. Yeah. That's the hardest thing about waiting on God. When God says he's going to deliver, time and time again, he's proven that he's going to deliver. But often as humans, we say, but it's got to be in my time frame.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't deliver within that time frame, then I'm considering him unfaithful within that. Rather than saying, okay, maybe it's just the fact that he's an all-powerful supreme being and he's working it in his timing.
Yes. Well, and I think the big thing is to make sure that you're following in him
Yeah.
You know, you can't know his timing if you're not in him.
Like talking to him.
Yeah, like talking to
and
him.
communicating with him and going after him.
And if you look in the Bible story, it says that Abram was in contact with God.
Yeah.
And that he talked to him.
They were having he was having a vision where God was like, hey, by the way, come walk with me outside. Like, if God came to me and I was to the point where we were so close, he was like, hey, walk outside with me. That's pretty darn close. You know, we're both on the same wavelength at that point. And I think people get so caught up in just, oh, well, you know, I can't hear God's voice, or I have such a tough time hearing it, or I don't know where he's going. And it's like Abraham was going after God every day.
Yeah.
And that led to him being guided within, and being guided through the times when he didn't have that promise fulfilled in that moment. But because of that, Sarah decided to do what we often do, which is, oh, God's promise is this. I'm going to make that promise happen.
Well, maybe this is what he wanted me to do.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, God, what did you want me to do?
When God said he was going to provide me with children, he really meant that I was going to hand over my servant lady to my husband, who didn't put up much of a fight according to the scripture.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there. Abram kind of dropped the ball on this one.
He should have said, hold on, let me talk to God.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you.
Hold on, let me go to God and tell him that I am going to have relations with my wife's servant.
Yep.
And if this is his plan. Which I think that we all have this gut feeling that when we know that something's not really the way that God is intending it to be, the plan that's going for it. I mean, if we talk about later in the passage, this does happen. They do have relations together. And because of that, Hagar, that's her name, very attractive, very, very attractive name for a lady.
Yeah.
Hagar. She became pregnant.
Yep.
And after she became pregnant, she got mad at Sarah, started treating Sarah badly.
Yeah.
Then Sarah started treating Hagar badly.
Yeah.
And Sarah goes to Abraham, and she says, this is in verse 5, this is all your fault. Now, I'm not going to say, this is a classic wife move here, but it's kind of a classic wife move.
We're not going to say it.
I'm not going to say it.
Nope, not going to say it.
But anyways, but you and I talked about this actually earlier. We're talking about being the head of the household as a man.
Yeah.
Like, where does that fall with Abram right now? When she said, this is all your fault.
Well,
I put my servant in your arms, but now that she's pregnant, she treats me with contempt. The Lord will show who's wrong, you or me.
Well, I mean, it comes down to it. I mean, the man in this situation is the head of the household.
Yep.
The man is supposed to, be able to take control of a situation like this and say, hey, look, I'm not gonna have relations with your with your servant.
No matter how hard you try to talk
to but I think that sometimes we let our flesh speak.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. He let his flesh speak.
Well, and I know we've talked about it from a relationship standpoint. Sometimes it's easier just to go with, to rather.
Yes, honey.
Yeah, you're like, is this the hill I'm gonna die on today?
Yep.
I think that's what a lot of men think, and they just cave because of that. But sometimes you have to know that ultimately it's gonna fall on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing that happened with Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve didn't have a problem with sin until Adam took the bite of the apple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we have all sorts of students that say, it's Eve's fault, which are usually boys.
Yeah.
Which shows me that they know nothing about marriage, and that's good. I hope they don't when they're 16 years old. But to know that ultimately that the man has been entrusted with his family, and what he does with that family is going to fall on his shoulders. Yeah. And it is going to happen.
Well, God created us as two different beings. The woman was created from the man, but she is her own. Women handle their emotions differently than a man handles.
She is equal.
Yeah.
She is equal.
She's equal.
In regards to the value in which God has assigned
Correct.
man and woman, she is equal on every level.
Yes.
That is not debatable.
No, but we were created to handle things differently.
Yeah. And the responsibility was meant to be handled differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. So long story short, we're going to keep moving here a little bit. Hagar runs away, and an angel of the Lord meets her at a well. And he says, return to your mistress and submit to her authority. Then he added, I will give you more descendants than you can count. And the angel also said, you are now pregnant and will give birth to a son. You're to name him Ishmael, which means God hears, for God has heard your cry of distress. This son of yours will be a wild man, as untamed as a wild donkey. He will raise his fist against everyone, and everyone will be against him. Yes, he will live in open hostility against all his relatives.
Oh my gosh.
All because what?
Because they didn't listen to God.
Because they want to take that destiny in their own hands. Because they couldn't wait. And you know what? You want to sit there and shout at Abraham and Sarah, but don't we do the same thing?
Well, and I think we do. We want to take God's stuff into our own hands, and then whenever everything messes up, we go, "Oh no, God, here, fix it."
I remember my son lately has been doing this thing. It's hilarious. He'll grab something or try to move something, and it will break or fall or drop, and he'll look at me and be like, "Accidents happen." And I imagine that's Abraham at that point, coming up to God with just this broken relationship with his wife and the servant and everything, and going, accidents happen, and wanting God to pick up those pieces.
Well, and I think that, God's always going to be there to pick up the pieces.
Yep, as he did right here.
But that doesn't mean he's not going to make you deal with the consequences of your actions.
Yes. The consequences are always going to be there.
Yeah.
As much as I would like them not to be there, as much as I wish that they weren't there, the consequences of our rebellion against God's will, sin, our consequences will ripple throughout history.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I had to deal with consequences. I made a bad choice. My parents took my cell phone.
Yeah.
And that's what God does. He takes our cell phones sometimes.
That's deep. That'll cut you right to the bone.
Right?
Stephonn is still dealing with the trauma of losing his cell phone.
I'm struggling.
He had to go see somebody. He had to go talk to a doctor and really talk it out and see what happened.
And it was rough.
There was a lot of stuff that I think happened growing up that it's just stuff that you experience as a kid. And it's hard because you don't want to blame anybody because what happened is what happened. But there are students that we talk to all the time that experience divorce or abuse or whatever. And we've seen them grow into fully functioning human beings and still deal with the stuff that happened with them 10 years, 20 years ago.
No, yeah. Well, everything it can have a long-term effect on you. I think that this had a long-term effect on Abram and Sarah.
Yeah.
Not only on them, but on us. There are many things that are affected by this.
Yeah. We always talk about how really the hostility that they're talking about with Ishmael and Isaac. That's a lot of conflict that we see in the Middle East right now.
Yeah.
A lot of that is from a blood feud that was thousands of years ago. And today it's still raging on. But we also talked about how God is able to take those broken things and use them for good. It's actually crazy. Me and Sammy, the human Bible over here, we're talking about how later when Joseph, one of Abraham's descendants, was thrown into a pit, he was rescued by spice traders who were Ishmaelites. So Ishmael's family would eventually be the ones to come and get Joseph out of this pit instead of him dying there.
Yeah.
And would eventually lead Joseph to the position, not lead him there, but save him. And ultimately Joseph would go on to do all the things that God had promised for him too. So God is still able to take those broken moments for us and use them to make something good happen, which is crazy.
Blows my mind every time.
Absolutely. But let's not talk about when Abraham was being disobedient or lost the faith. Let's talk about when he actually kept true. So first off, we're going to move up to chapter 18. And it says, the Lord appeared again to Abraham near the oak grove belonging to Mamre. One day, Abraham was sitting at the entrance of his tent during the hottest part of the day. He looked up and saw 3 men standing by. Long story short, of the 3 men, they're angels. And one of them is the angel of the Lord. And Sarah hears him tell Abraham, I'm going to bring you a son soon. And Sarah starts laughing. She starts laughing. And when she starts laughing, the angel says, then the Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh? Why did she say, can an old woman like me have a baby? At this time, Sarah was close to, I think, 90 years old, more or less. 90 years old. God's like, you're going to have a baby. Which is terrifying. Yeah. It's absolutely terrifying.
Hey, Todd.
I'm 29, and there's a second one coming in. I'm already scared to death. Don't think I have enough energy or ability or money or patience for another child, but here it comes, full force. And to think that I would be 90 years old and have my first child, that's terrifying.
Well, I know they lived longer back then.
They did.
But still.
Abraham lived to be like 170?
175, I think is what we said. He
175
when he died.
Old. Yeah.
And so even then he was, how old did we say in this time it was?
We said he's about 90 right now.
He was about 90. Yeah. So that's his midlife.
Yep.
So for us that's about 50, 45 to 50, right around there.
Yep. That's nuts.
So Todd, that'd be like your wife is pregnant right now and
And
you're
I'm
45
50.
or 50.
My wife's like, nah.
No, I'm good.
Well, it would happen. There's just no stopping that. Yeah, I think that's the crazy thing is having that faith. And that's the thing, too. We look at our circumstances, not at the promise.
Yeah.
We say, God has promised that I'm going to... Here's one we hear all the time. Are you ready? This is it. You know, I think God's going to provide me with a husband or wife. Yeah, I got to giggle out there already. Because then they have to wait more than a year. Oh my gosh, where's God? I don't know where he is.
Why don't I have a husband or a wife?
Well, no, he's not walking through the back door. My future husband's not walking through the back door and picking me up and telling me that I'm the one he's going to be with for the rest of his life. No, that's not how it works.
No, it's God's timing. God's timing. I think we have to be reminded of that. I think even us, sometimes we have to be reminded of that.
Absolutely.
You know, it has to be in God's timing. This virus will end in God's timing.
Yep. And by his alone.
Yeah.
And if you put your faith in anything, if you look at the circumstances, all you're going to do is get depressed about it.
Yep.
And that's what Sarah's doing. It says that she's laughing right here. She's not laughing because because she's actually having a good time. She's laughing because she's just in sheer disbelief of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what we do a lot. We laugh. We go, oh, here's God's promise. I'm going to find a man one day. This happens all the time. I'm going to find a man one day who's going to marry me. Ha, ha, ha. That's never going to happen. Well, you know what? You know what happened when Sarah did that? God asked Abraham, yo, why'd your wife laugh? I think because even the act of just laughing at the promises God has given us, if you feel like God has promised you that you're going to be in a fulfilling, awesome marriage or relationship, if you believe he's promised you that, he's going to do that.
Yeah.
I believe that. But don't think it's going to happen next week.
No, it
might.
I mean,
It
it
might.
could, but it might not.
Yeah, it might be a year later, 2 years later, 20 years later. I don't know when it's going to be.
Yeah.
But you have to know that when you're working in your own time, when you look at your circumstances and your abilities and not God's abilities, you're going to laugh.
When I think, it makes me think of that old saying, like, a watched pot will never boil.
A watched pot.
Is that what it's? Is that it? That's
sure.
That's the
It
quote,
sounds
right?
good to me.
I think it is. Like when you're
Wise old Stephonn up here.
when you're
Wish he had
looking at a
beard.
pot that's got water in it and you're trying to get it to boil, it won't boil. But
Yeah.
you walk away for 5 seconds and you come back and it's boiling
And it's
magically.
boiling. Taking your eyes off of waiting for the signs to happen.
Yes.
And just knowing that they're going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely the truth. I think we get so short-sighted on
Yep.
that stuff. We've waited a year and this hasn't happened. Oh my gosh, it's never going to happen. Or my wife and I we were trying to get pregnant for almost 2.5 years. And I know that there are people who have tried way longer than that. We've talked about that before. And we get to that point to where we go, oh, after this amount of time, I feel like if I'm going to have a kid, I have to go. I have to go do this now. It's been a year. It's been a year and a half. It's been 2 years.
Yep.
What can I do to change this situation? Rather than going, you know what? However God has intended it's going to happen, it's going to be happening.
Well, and that's how it happened. Same thing for me and my wife. We tried for a year to have children. And then there was a moment where we had always talked about adopting. And I told my wife, I said, hey, let's adopt. And she said, no, I'm not ready for that. We're not doing that. And I said, okay, whatever. And she worked at a bank. And I won't tell you what it's called, but I will tell you it rhymes with GGVA.
Okay, got it. Still, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. And so she worked at this bank, and there was a lady who had come in and had talked to my wife about adoption a little bit, and her niece or somebody was adopting at that time, and she brought in the child that had been adopted or was being adopted at that time and said, look, this is my niece, and this is, her. And my wife came home that day and said, all right, let's do it. Let's adopt.
Yeah.
And we went through the process and we adopted, and immediately after my wife got pregnant. And I think it's God's timing, because
Yeah.
I don't think that we could have went through what we went through when our children came home if we had a baby at home.
Yeah.
I think that it would have been a lot
That'd have been
rougher.
bonkers.
Yes. But, with God's hand over us, we were able to push through everything that we went through, and now we have 3 beautiful children that are awesome.
They are all awesome. I will say that. I'm pretty jealous. My kid's pretty
I know,
awesome.
I was going to say, your kid's
My
pretty
kid
awesome.
is so funny
And you
right
got another
now.
one on the way.
I do have another one on the way. I am so excited about that. It's going to be awesome. And I'm also scared. I'm scared out of my mind. So let's get to God coming through. So the birth of Isaac, we're in chapter 21 now. I love how this one starts. Verse 1. The Lord kept his word and did for Sarah exactly what he had promised. She became pregnant, and she gave birth to a son for Abraham in his old age. This is the best part. This happened at just the time God had said it would. No sooner, no later.
Yeah.
People always say stuff like I heard this once. God is never late. You're just not working on his time.
Yep.
That's totally what happened here, because it's one of those things where, and it says right here, Abraham was 100 years old when Isaac was born. When he first got that promise, he was about 75 years old.
Yeah, about 75.
25 years of waiting.
That's a long
25
time.
years. And we get upset with 6 months of waiting.
Yeah.
I get upset when my burrito takes longer than a minute and 30 to fully cook through.
It shouldn't take longer.
If
than
there's
that,
a
Todd.
frozen center, I'm going to lose my mind.
Well, look, there's a very thin line between frozen and scalding hot. So,
Once you cross that line, there's no going back. I've coated my tongue in liquid hot magma. Yeah.
but no, it is. It's really, I mean, the Bible says it right there. It was exactly in God's timing.
Yep.
And we have to be reminded of that. I think we have to remind ourselves that every day, that everything is happening in God's timing, including in our lives.
Yep.
I think a lot of times, like, we're in school and then we're like, I can't wait till I'm a grown up and then I get to do whatever I want.
Yep.
And then you become a grown up and you're like, well, I can't wait till I have a career because then, I'll be happy with my life.
And then I can't wait till I have a house.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till retirement. And then you're like, wait, I can wait.
I can wait.
It's totally true. Like, and what's funny is we talk about with Abraham, why didn't God just stop Abraham from making that decision with Ishmael to begin with?
Yeah, why didn't he?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. Are you asking me it?
I'm asking you.
Okay.
Why didn't God stop him?
Because it's just like with my son. I remember when Steph and I were first helping Ollie walk, which you guys are doing with Nora right now.
Yeah.
It's amazing, right? Yeah. Their little chubby legs are just they're shaking, and you're just rooting for them as best you can. And I remember we were doing that with my son. We were at the youth center apartment, and I remember he was falling, and my wife would catch him, because my wife has the biggest heart ever, and she's a little softie, and I love her for it. But she would always catch my son. And I remember one time I told her, I'm like, baby, you gotta let him fall. And she's like, what? No, he's gonna bust his head open, his brains are gonna splatter everywhere, and he's gonna die. And I'm like, calm down. So I think after a little, after I tied her down,
Yeah.
he fell. So he's standing up straight, and he's sitting there, and he's wobbling, and he goes back, and he just straight leg, boom, hits the ground. And he's crying, and immediately get words out of her mouth. I told you. So she's going. I said, okay, just hold on, wait. Just let him go again. And she's like, no way. Just let him humor me one more time. So he stands up, and sits there, and he's wobbling. And as soon as he goes back, he cups his legs, and he lands on his butt rather than the back of his head.
Yeah.
Because he had to fall that time to know how to fall the next time. And I think God is doing that same thing with Abraham. Like, I could just take my kid and carry him in a bubble everywhere and say that, I could say, I love my son so much, I don't want him to get hurt. But the truth is, I love my son so much, sometimes I want him to get hurt.
Yeah.
I want him to have to experience the pain of losing something or whatever it is, because I know me telling him it is not going to be enough.
No.
He has to go through that pain, and he has to learn how to get up from his own mistakes and his own errors. And from the age of 75, when Abram got the first promise, to from a 75-year-old Abram to a 100-year-old Abraham, a lot happened. And it was crazy to think, like, okay, this was what God needed him to do. He needed Abraham to fall a few times. He needed him to mess up.
At the age of 75.
At the age of 75, he needed him to fall, learn how to walk, fall on his butt, and then to look at Abraham and say, now you're ready for Isaac. Now you're ready for who I'm going to trust you with.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
You're blowing my mind.
It's crazy.
We're hitting some stuff here,
Yeah.
I think that it's crazy to think that, God has to let us fall.
Yeah.
We don't learn without falling.
Yep.
If I didn't fail in life, I would never succeed in life.
And he doesn't I hate using the word predestined. He doesn't have a trap set out for us. I think that's what people think.
Yeah.
They think, oh, God's got, like Sarah said, God is not letting me have children because she goes, I'm falling into God's trap. God does not tempt you. He doesn't put the traps out there before you.
No.
He allows you to step into these other places and know that there is always a way out. Abraham had a way out. He could have said no.
Yeah.
And not had relations with, his wife's servant.
Yeah.
But he did.
No. Because that's how we thought back then.
Yeah.
It's like I said earlier, like our flesh takes over sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened for him. Instead of him being able to say, look, I'm going to talk to God and I'm going to understand this and take my way out. Hey, I'm not doing this. I'm taking my way out. He said, no, I'm going to do this.
So would you say Abraham was truly faithful even after his moment like that?
No, I think he was still faithful. But I think that he had a slip up, But I don't know. It's like we talked about, like he had to fall.
Yeah.
He really did.
I once saw a chart talking about like addiction recovery, and it said like, you start here and you go forward, and then most of the time, more often than not, we go backward a little bit, but then we move forward again, and then we go backward again, and we move forward, and we keep doing this until we are in a better spot than we were when we started.
Yeah.
But so I would say Abraham was faithful.
Yes.
He wound up at the end being in that same place, in the same way that David was. When King David screwed up, he was considered a man after God's own heart, and I think that you're absolutely right by saying it was that one slip up, that one moment that didn't define him, but still had ripples throughout time.
Yeah, there is a rippling effect in everything that happens.
Yep.
If you sat down with someone who was an addict and talked to them about their life, I guarantee you, even after they became clean, those addictions had an effect on them in their long-term life.
I heard this thing today, and it blew my mind. It said there's a difference between the presence of sin and the power of sin. Sin will always be present in your life. Yeah. John said it in the Bible. Paul said it in the Bible. Everybody has fallen short. But the power of sin and what it does to you is completely different than the presence of sin in your own life. And what that sin, how much power that sin has in your life to change you and move you and affect you and pull you and push you and make you dance, that is totally different than the presence of sin in your life, I would say.
Yeah, it is.
That's good stuff. I think this was a good one today.
Yeah.
I like this. I wanted to end out on, I didn't tell you this, I wanted to end out on a certain note today.
Like, we're going to sing a certain note?
No, but we can. Are there any other shout outs, or are we good?
Here, let's see.
I
Any
think we're
shout-outs?
good, right?
No, I don't see any.
Sweet. No singing shout outs this week.
Oh, shout out Janessa and Alicia.
Are they watching?
Well, then
Well,
we're not
no, they
shouting
don't
them
get
out.
a shout out.
If you want us to shout you out, you got to watch.
I'm not even gonna mention they who shall not be named for their shout outs.
She's watching on my live stream.
Sup, Rogue? That's my shout out.
Hi,
Chill.
Rogue.
Suh.
What's up?
Suh. All right. This is what I wanted to end with. So we've been talking about how we haven't been doing worship on these sets.
Yeah.
What's one worship song? No. I'm gonna say what's one song you're listening to right now that you really dig, and number two, what's a worship song you think people should be getting into?
Oh, man. Can I pull out my phone?
Yeah.
Because all my music's on my phone.
All right. Take your time.
Let's do this. What about you, Todd?
Give me
You
just
gonna
like a
answer
good. Give me just like a good.
Also posting worship songs once a week on our Instagram.
Oh, we're posting worship songs once a week on our Instagram.
Yeah, if
Very
you don't
good.
follow us on Instagram, follow us.
Follow.
What is it? At Anchored Ministries. Is that what we're? Okay, so follow us at Anchored Ministries. You'll get updates on what's going on. You're gonna get beautiful pictures of us just hanging out before and after, and you'll get music that you should be listening to. Not just Christian, worship, but you're gonna get Christian rap, some Christian rock.
Yep.
A little bit of options out there.
So give me. I'm gonna even extend this. I'm gonna say, what is a song you're listening to right now? I don't need an overtly Christian artist. I just want to know what you're into right now, music wise.
So I have a playlist that I'm listening to that somebody else made that's called Praise Up, and it's
Okay.
just a bunch of Christian rap.
Yeah. So they're not degrading women in all of their
No,
songs.
no.
That's a positive.
Yeah, so I got. Let me see if I can pull up one of the songs. Oh, you know what song it is that I've been listening to and it's just stuck in my head?
What?
It's "Set Me Free" by Lecrae.
Ooh, that just came out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got
the guy.
the guy in it that you're
Yeah.
listening to.
It's got,
look it up. I'll say mine while you're checking out all the deets on that one. I'm gonna take a stab into an odd direction, but it's the kind of music I like. I've been listening to some metal lately, and it's felt so good. There's this band called Silent Planet. They have an amazing song right now for their new album called Trilogy coming out. It is awesome, and I love their stuff, and it's good music, and I'm digging that. So that's my song.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to worship to that song, or not. I mean, you could.
Yeah.
But I think the worship song that's stuck on my head right now is that song "Egypt" by Corey Asbury. I'm really digging it. I know we were talking about how we're both on different wavelengths
Yeah,
right now when it comes
we're
to worship music.
Yeah, so I'm in that phase of my life where I just want something that's different, unique, like just crazy out there.
I will say it is not crazy different or unique, but it is fun.
Yes.
And I think Corey Asbury's a great artist. So Egypt by Corey Asbury, go check it out this week.
The song I'm listening to, it's Set Me Free with Lecrae and YK Osiris, who is not a Christian artist.
Yes.
But he's...
Did we just recommend that on
right?
our channel?
But he's clean in this song. Now, I'm not recommending his other music because I haven't heard it.
Okay.
So don't try to put me
Just
on that.
that song.
Don't try to say it. But this song is a good song.
Somebody's going to lose their faith because of YK
Right?
Osiris. They'll be like, I knew Jesus till I heard his song.
You know, and I'm a fan of like, okay, there's a song, and I haven't listened to it in a while, but it's the lyrics get stuck in my head randomly, and it's "Come Thou Fount" by
King's
Kaleidoscope.
Yep.
And it is just this. It's completely unique, and it's just out there. It's an old hymn that they turned into this just off the wall like song, and
Yes.
it's really good.
It's
Our worship highlights for our stories because I posted.
Oh, nice. It's on our worship
It's
highlights.
on our worship highlights on our story. If you didn't know, on Insta.
Oh, okay. I got one song that you and I have liked for a long time, this last year, and it's been popping up on our speakers pretty much all the time before worship
Is it a
practice or
worship
after.
song?
It is a worship song, yes.
Okay.
And it's fun.
Yes, I know.
Okay,
I
so
think I know what you're talking
so
about.
we'll both go right here.
I know what it is.
Okay, you ready? We'll
Yeah.
say it on 3. At least okay. Do you know what it's called?
I think so.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. We're
Blessed.
blessed. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah. We're blessed by Fred Hammond.
Fred Hammond.
And it is an awesome song.
Yeah.
It will get you up on your feet.
You're gonna be dancing.
Me and Stephonn were at men's convention, and we were just getting down to that song. We were going one way, and then you go the other, and then you go back that way again. It was a blast.
Yeah,
So
it was great.
check out those songs. Okay, we're at 7:15. I think it's time to wrap this thing up.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you know I'm having fun. I could do this for another hour, but I know that we'd have 0 viewers in about 30 minutes. So.
Yeah.
Hey, you have 3 right now.
Oh, we got 3 viewers. Hello, viewers. We're so happy you tuned in. All right, well, let's wrap this thing up. Guys, thank you so much for today. Sammy, thank you so much for coming and playing the game with me today. It was
Thanks,
so much
Sammy.
fun. It was so much fun beating you. That was a blast, as I say non-arrogantly. And Stephonn, thanks again for being up here. If you guys like what you see, comment, leave some feedback, right?
Yeah, let us know what you guys want to see. Maybe we're talking about something and you're like, I want to hear about this. Let us know. Maybe there's a game that you want us to play. Put it in the description, you know? Shoot us a link on our phones if you got our numbers.
I have one more announcement. I'm sorry.
No,
I
go
just
for it.
remembered. If you guys are on our Instagram, you will find in the next week we'll be taking video submissions for questions on our
I
next
completely
show.
forgot about this.
That's right. I'm sorry. That's what I forgot to announce. So this coming week, keep your eye on the Instagram. There will be a link on there for you guys to send your videos. It'll be like a Dropbox or a Google Drive, however we're going to do it,
Yeah.
where you guys can ask questions of us from the Bible or from not the Bible.
Yeah.
If you guys want to ask us what my favorite dessert is, or you know how much barbecue sauce I like on my pulled pork sandwich, we're all down for questions like that.
Yeah, throw them in there and we will, you might even get to see your face up on this live
I
stream.
think for sure we can
Yeah,
make
I
that
think
happen.
we'll make it happen. We'll get your face up here asking the question.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So anyways, yeah, so wear a funny hat. So just dress to the, I got to tell you a funny story before we end out.
Yeah.
So I was doing the trivia night with our youth group, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Had a great time with it. But apparently beforehand, 2 of the contestants pre-planned to wear only great clothes from the waist up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had 2 very well-dressed gentlemen who stood up and were very clearly wearing pajamas, and one of them was underwear. So
Oh.
that was weird.
That was great.
It was
sounds
I almost
great.
kicked them out. I told them to go put pants on immediately.
You go put pants on right now.
So Andrew, find some pants.
Oh, and I'm gonna shout out another thing. We are currently working on a collab with the Winter Camp worship team.
Yeah, Christian Heights Assembly of God.
Yeah, we are working on a collab with them to get us maybe a song out to you guys of us recording a song together, but in our own homes. So we are not breaking the rules. We are doing it individually. So keep an eye out for that as well. And we're not sure when that's going to be released, but hopefully you'll see that soon.
Cool. All right, man. Another good night.
Yeah.
You want to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
God, we come to you right now, and we just thank you for another great night here. And we pray that you be with us as we go through this week. Bring us back next week to do this again, have some fun, and allow us just to bask in your presence. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And other than that, whoa, what? Call out my family. My family. Shout out to
Give a shout out to Dylan and Andrew. They're watching too.
Did they say they want to shout out in the comments?
Yes.
No, they didn't.
They just wrote like this.
They just wrote like what?
Frank time.
Oh, Dylan and Andrew. Andrew, go find some pants. Dylan, what's up, dude? How are you? Shout out. We'll sing that one for them.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Shout out. That's good. We're gonna get better at that.
That was terrible. Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great week. We love you. Adios.